Just as they've done before, Diablo and the family have to deal with this threat. All the adults start to harass the caiman. As the cubs keep their distance, Sophia takes her position at the front, sizing up the caiman. Others move in to try to distract it. Diablo once again moves in from behind and goes for the tail. But the caiman refuses to back down and then begins to fight back. The cubs panic and follow the adults right into the middle of the fight. They're in extreme danger now, so the adult otters step up the assault. The caiman tries to head for the safety of the bushes, but it's too late. He's outnumbered. The otters seize the moment. Incredibly, they overpower the caiman, some holding it down, others biting it in the head. After nearly an hour of brutal fighting, it's all over. The caiman may be dead, but Charlie needs to know if all the otters are okay. It doesn't take long to realise 2 of the cubs haven't survived the fight. Stuck in the middle of the action like this, the young, inexperienced cubs were no match for such a powerful and aggressive predator. The truce between otters and caiman has, for a brief moment, been broken. What impresses Charlie the most, though, is the incredible show of family bonds and physical strength the otters brought together to kill the caiman and eliminate the threat of it from their lake. The otter family have cubs. Seeing otter cubs in the wild like this is extremely rare. Charlie counts 6 tiny cubs, a record number, making a grand total of 15 family members. Diablo and his mate Sophia are certainly playing their part in helping to maintain the survival of giant otters in this part of the Amazon. But so many cubs will be quite a handful. The family will certainly have their work cut out keeping them out of danger. The first thing the cubs need to learn is how to swim. So this family outing is actually a swimming lesson. Strangely, otter cubs don't actually like water, so lessons like this one are essential. There's one cub in particular who catches the eye. Not because he's muddier than the others, but because he really doesn't like the water. Despite Mum's best efforts, all he wants to do is get back to the warmth and security of the den. The other cubs all seem to be enduring their swimming lesson. Some even look like they're starting to get the hang of it. But this little cub's just not having it. So in the end, there's nothing for it but to just pick him up and dunk him in the water. As cubs, all of the otters here are given names to help any scientist studying them. It seems fitting to give this cub a name appropriate to Lake Salvador. So Charlie calls him Darlie. Even with the protection of a big family, the early months of a cub's life can be the most perilous. Learning to swim is just the first danger to overcome. Only around a third of all these giant otter cubs will make it to adulthood. At this age, the cubs tire easily, so it's not long before their swimming lesson is over and they're taken back to the warmth and safety of the den.
All this activity attracts Montana's trout fishing experts. The Otter family. Mother is taking her young pups out for a masterclass. Otters can find fish in darkness using sensitive whiskers. The pups cling tight, picking up the technique. Like Mother Bear, she's a skilled teacher and will look after her pups until next year, and they can make it on their own. It's that slash of red beneath the gills that gives cutthroat trout their name. As she dines, her pups tuck into the nutritious orange eggs, gobbling them up like sweets. The smell of fresh fish is in the air. The bears quickly pick up the scent of the otter's meal. In shallow water like this, it should be easy. But trout are slippery customers. Success. Following Mother's lead, Archie jumps right in. But just like climbing trees, it takes practice. Mother knows this annual feast won't hang around. At last, Archie's got the hang of it. So has Luke. The cubs' first trout dinner is a rare, high-protein meal. They've also learnt to gobble food down quickly. Their feast hangs thick in the air. The scent might attract grizzlies. Their mother doesn't take chances and leads them back to the canyon. Most of the trout escape, leaving the stream seeded with eggs.
These smooth-coated otter pups have spent their first 6 weeks in the safety of the holt, but now it's time to take to the water. And their playground? Singapore, one of the most densely populated countries on the planet. And thanks to conservation efforts, such as cleaning up their waterways, Singapore now has one of the densest population of otters on Earth too. The otters have made the city their own. And with plenty of fish to hunt, they've even become a tourist attraction. The young cubs, still reliant on their mother's milk, are just learning how to swim, and after a successful hunting trip, it's time to try some fish. Now their teeth may be small, but they're still razor sharp. In their natural habitat, otters will haul out onto a riverbank to feed, but in Singapore, this marina works just fine. But house crows have also moved into Singapore. Native to India and a few other South Asian countries, house crows have hitched a ride on ships all around the world, appearing as far away as Ireland, South Africa, and even the USA. With big brains and an open mind to all things gastronomic, these avian marauders are well equipped for urban life. They're a loose social cooperative, working together to communicate dangers and to find and share food. And why catch food when you can steal it from some youngsters? Crows seem to know instinctively that pulling tails is a good distraction tactic. It almost seems like a game to them. They'll even do it when there isn't food involved. Show a crow a tail, and it seems they'll just pull it. And it helps when you have 8 other beaks joining in. That is, until Mum's had enough. Eventually the cubs do get tired of the hassle, leaving what's left of the fish to the crows. Persistence, it seems, is another key crow quality. But the cubs don't seem to mind. Plenty more where that came from. In just another 6 weeks, they'll be catching fish for themselves, but they probably have a lifetime ahead of getting their tails pulled.
We all love cute animals. From the furriest to the fuzziest with their big eyes and button noses, many creatures have something about them that we simply find irresistible. Today we're here in Cornwall at Newquay Zoo, filming some of their most lovable residents. I'm Hannah Stitful, and over the course of this series we will be delving into the science of cute, taking a look at some of the world's most adorable species. The red panda, also known as the firefox. Native to the mountain ranges of Nepal, China, India and Myanmar, they live deep within the high altitude forests and are very rarely seen. But when they are spotted, they are simply adorable. With their short snouts and big pointy ears, their faces are white with reddish-brown marks that almost look like tears. Living most of their lives in the treetops, their soft fur is incredibly warm. A thick undercoat covered in long bristly guard hairs makes the red panda well insulated and is perfectly at home in the cold mountain air. And when they sleep, they use their large bushy tails to wrap around their bodies, keeping them snug throughout the night. You would think that their striking reddish-orange coat would make them stand out, but within their environment, the fir trees are covered in a type of white lichen and reddish-brown moss. So their fantastic coloration, in fact, makes them perfectly camouflaged. Being a crepuscular animal, they are mostly active at dusk and dawn. This is when they will search for their food. And being a member of the carnivore family, you would think that they would hunt for prey. But unlike other carnivores, the red panda is mostly a vegetarian. They will occasionally take insects, but mostly eat bamboo, and only the freshest leaf tips will do. Undoubtedly, these furry little firefoxes are up there as one of the cutest animals on the planet. When it comes to being playful, they don't get much more playful and inquisitive than our next species. The meerkat. Known for their large eyes with dark patches, small pointy face and bushy coat, they are super cute. But their lovable appearance actually helps them survive in their environment, being specially adapted to the harsh deserts of Africa. Their dark eye patches help reduce glare from the African sun. So when on the lookout for predators, these dark patches actually help the meerkat see better and therefore stay safe. In the group, one meerkat will always have the role as sentry. This is when one group member will stand on their hind legs, using their tail as a prop and act as a lookout. If there is any sign of danger, the sentry will call out a warning bark. Then the rest of the group can dash to the safety of their burrows. Then, once the coast is clear, they can get back to scampering in the sun. Meerkats live in groups of around 20 individuals, but groups can be up to 50 strong, and they depend on each other and constantly communicate. They also rely on each other for company, and have even been found to cuddle each other, particularly on cool nights. These curious creatures will entertain themselves with just about anything, and when it comes to being a meerkat, spending time together grooming, playing and foraging is just all part of a day's work. From the high mountains to the mangrove swamps of Asia, our next creature is the smallest otter species in the world. The Asian short-clawed otter is roughly 60 centimetres long, with around 30 centimetres being its tail. These tiny otters spend around half their time on land and the other half in water, where they search for their food using their long, super sensitive whiskers to help them navigate in the murky river networks. A diet of crustaceans and mollusks, as well as the occasional insect and amphibian, keep them full of energy, and they have bags of personality. They are highly sociable, living in family groups of up to 12 to 15 individuals, and will often be seen playing with one another, but also with rocks. No one is completely sure why they do this behaviour, but when they find a rock they like, they will almost juggle with it whilst they lay on their backs, and won't let the rock go until they become more interested in another play opportunity, suggesting they are not only cute, but also very intelligent. They have excellent fur consisting of a densely packed warm undercoat with super water resistant long guard hairs on top. Their thick fur layer beneath is perfectly adapted for their semi-aquatic lifestyle. Otters will spend a lot of time grooming themselves, as this looks after the fur, but also ensures that air becomes trapped, which is why they can spend a lot of time in the water without getting cold. All in all, these playful, furry and beloved animals are not only adorable, but also highly skilled for their environment. Our next animal lives worlds away from the African desert and is found deep in the remote forests of Europe. The Carpathian lynx, one of Europe's most magnificent cat species. With their large eyes, black tufted ears and bobbed tails, they are instantly recognisable and are also extremely rare to spot. But a sight even more rare than seeing an adult is witnessing an enchanting kitten. The adorable babies will be born in a den, which their mother will line with grasses, feathers and fur to keep the kitten nice and warm. They are first born blind and completely helpless, relying on their mothers for milk, protection and warmth. After around 6 weeks, they will start to venture out of the den into the big outside world. They find everything interesting and appear to play non-stop. But this play is very important for a young kitten, as it is starting to learn the basics of how to stalk their prey. Whilst they are near the den site, they have bundles of energy and will take every opportunity to practice their hunting techniques, even if it is on their mothers. They will stay with their mothers until they are fully weaned. Then, at around 10 months old, they will leave the comfort of where they were born and head off into the woods to find their own territory and start their adult life. These little balls of fluff will grow up into being top predators in their environment. But when it comes to being cute, this little kitten certainly had to make the list.
So this afternoon we brought our red pandas their afternoon meal, which consists of 3 big bits of bamboo. So hopefully they'll come down. Being a captive animal, you can pick and choose when you come to feed because no one's going to take it off you, but fingers crossed they'll come down and say hello. You're welcome to put some bamboo out, get involved. So yep, so we're going to pop it just in around here, anywhere you like. So sometimes put in different places, so the reason we put the bamboo in different places is so it's not in the same place every day, so it's enriching for them.
So how old are the red pandas here?
So our 2 red pandas here are both 8 years old, so yeah. a good little pair, because pandas will go to maybe 15 to 20 in captivity.
Yeah.
So these are fairly young in terms of pandas.
Oh my goodness, she is really enjoying that, isn't she? Do they get on though?
Now the pandas, they tolerate each other, they share the same environment. In the wild they are solitary, so they come from southeast China. These guys would spend a lot of time on their own, only come together to mate, and then mum would take care of the youngsters, so dad would go on his way again. They're quite happy to eat together, but other than that you'll find them in different trees.
And how often do you feed them bamboo every day?
So yeah, bamboo is fed every day. So in the wild they eat a range of different bamboos. Being a captive animal, you get a little bit pampered and you start to get a bit picky. And so unfortunately Jermaine here only likes one type of bamboo, which is the small leaf bamboo. And so this is why we only give them small leaf bamboo.
A visiting male otter woos a female on the lake's shore. But she seems a little distracted. Her 2 pups are nearby. They are about 10 weeks old, and the time is right to lead them from the holt. Males are not above stealing food from cubs, so she makes it very clear that he is not going to be joining them. This female grew up on the lake, so she knows where to take the cubs for a very special trip. Yellowstone cutthroat trout are massing in the mouth of a stream that feeds the lake. They are preparing for their annual spawning. But the trout must wait. The stream is still running fast, too turbulent to lay their eggs. It's a nervous time for them, and for good reason. This osprey has a brood to feed and will be back. Now the otters are here too. She chooses her moment to lead the pups upstream. Then leaves them to watch and gives them a lesson in hunting. A large trout like this, full of eggs, is a trophy catch. She chews its tail first to make sure the fish can't get away. While the pups are still demanding milk, the mother otter will often keep the whole fish for herself. Her pups are happy enough with caviar. As the flow becomes slow enough for the trout to lay eggs, there is a brief window of opportunity to spawn before the river gets too shallow to swim upstream. The female digs a trough with sinuous flicks of her body, and the attending male fertilizes the eggs as they are laid. millions of new lives.